11 people. Good evening, folks. Earlier. Focusing the camera, which is not doing as it's meant to right now. I think we're there. Are we in focus? Are we all right? Are we sharp? Brilliant. Okay. Welcome, everybody. 10 people have joined us so far tonight. Hello. Good evening, Mike. Good evening, Jade. Good evening, Vincent. Good evening, Stephen, Richard, Dave, ×2, Thackeray, and Scott, and Jamie. All familiar faces. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I've got Lauren with me to begin proceedings, as you can see, although currently in a phone, so I don't know how involved Lauren will be in this one this week, but teenagers. That's all I can say, teenagers. Yeah, Nikki said teenagers, enough said. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Darren's in the house. Good evening, Darren. How are you, sir? Not been to Tesco for a while.
I have. I went this morning.
Did you? Dear. Darren works at Tesco in Wath, so we often see him. Catwoman Jones is in the house. Good evening. Hello from Rugby. Enjoying the new Warwickshire episodes? I'm sure you and a few other people are, because people wanted to see Warwickshire again. So, I obliged. There's more coming as well. There's more Warwickshire coming. Good evening, Christine, and hello, Alice. Good to see you in here as always. Regular viewer. Okay. Brilliant. Everyone's turned up this week. I suppose you all want to know, don't you, how I got on flying the helicopter, don't you? Well, luckily for you, I'm about to tell you. So, last week we were in Cheltenham and Gloucester, down in Gloucestershire. We were in a hotel that was between the two towns, located sort of on the M5, almost bang on the M5 actually, just on the Cheltenham side. And perfect hotel for where we were, because obviously we were going down to Gloucestershire Airport, so I could fly this helicopter, which I'll get to in a moment. We had a bit of a wander around Cheltenham and a wander around Gloucester. I have to say, having never been to either place before, I much prefer Cheltenham. Gloucester was a little bit rough and ready, shall we say. Cheltenham is a lot more, shall we say, posh, high class. But then again, it was a spa town, so they tended to be, didn't they? Because they attracted all the wealthy people. So yeah, Cheltenham is a lovely place. Gloucester, not so much. We had a wander around both, though, anyway, and we obviously stayed overnight in the hotel between them. From our hotel window, we could see plenty of things flying around in the sky, because Gloucestershire Airport is the sixth biggest, apparently, sixth busiest in the country, which kind of surprised us. We were told that by the staff at Heliair, which is the company I was flying with. We thought it wouldn't be as busy as that, because it's not the kind of airport where you would say get on a plane and fly to some hot destination in the Far East or something like that. It does basically just charter flights and private stuff, but it has a lot of helicopters. There's a lot of helicopters that are based there. What was it? The police helicopters are based there, was it?
No, it's Land, Air and Sea Rescue helicopters.
Land, Air and Sea Rescue helicopters are based there. And lots of other helicopter companies, including the one we were flying with. Now, the helicopter I was flying was a Robinson R-22, which I know some of you know because you saw the picture of it and you recognised it, which was great. Not the easiest thing in the world to fly, I have to admit, although I was piloting it for a good 20 minutes on my own, which was really nerve-wracking. But it was fun. I think that was the key to it. I actually got double the amount of time in the air that I should have had, because the flight was only meant to last 20 minutes in total. But I got 40 because when we initially took off, the heavens opened, and that type of helicopter doesn't have windscreen wipers. Some helicopters do. I was told that some do, but this particular type doesn't. And so when it rains, you can't see a thing. So the guy had to land it back down for 5 minutes, wait for the rainstorm to pass, and then up we went again. At the time we finished, I'd been in it for 40 minutes as opposed to 20. So it was well worth it just for the extra time. Now I have a certificate, which I will show you if I can reach it up here, to say that I have been. It's the wrong way round, but there you go. I've used my Sunday name there. If you can't read it, it says Andrew Smith. Congratulations on your trial lesson in a Robinson R22 helicopter from Helier, Gloucester, 26th of September 2023. There is the type of craft I was in. Obviously a different colour. Mine was red. That one's obviously white. So yeah, and of course that is also in this Staverton episode, which is going to be the 1000th episode, which is on your screens very soon. November the 7th, it'll be out. Just put that back up there. Lauren, if that falls off, could you please oblige? I'm not quite sure I can do it with one hand. So yeah, so there we go. It was quite an experience, I have to admit. It was well worth it. So okay, yes, Nikki's just said I've got some comments to catch up on, because while I was saying all that, I basically didn't catch up on anything. So let's see. Richard Smith. Hi, Andy. Went to Upton Chippy on Saturday. What amazing food. P.S. I got a new Hoover to clean my car. You will notice they are gone. They are no longer there. We've now got a fan, which has always been there because the Hoovers have taken pride of place, haven't they, in that particular corner? And they've gone. So we no longer have them. So that's gone. Sorry. Let's see. Catwoman Jones, I'm enjoying them. There's lots of Warwickshire I haven't been to. Yeah, lots of Warwickshire I've not been to as well, but I'm planning on going to it all. It's good though. I like Warwickshire. It's a lovely little county. Let's see. Stephen Brame, hi. I enjoyed your Burnley series. I'm from Britannia in Bacup, Rossendale. Wondered if you'll be visiting our beautiful county. Yes, I will be coming to Lancashire again very soon. Rossendale only has the one, which I can't remember the name of offhand, but I think it begins with a W. Not too sure about Baker, but I might be unparished, but I'll have to check it because I don't know Lancashire very well. But yeah, I will certainly be coming out there again at some point. When am I coming to Bassingham? I'll tell you when I'm coming to Bassingham, Christine. 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks tomorrow. I will be. No, not 2 weeks tomorrow. 2 weeks Wednesday. I'll be in Bassingham. So I know people are waiting for Bassingham. I don't know why, because it's such a nice village, but I've not got there quite yet. Let's see. Yes, Jade, I will get it framed. I will get that certificate framed. While we're on the subject of where I'm going, the next thing I wanted to mention this week was where I'm taking myself and the camera to this week. Off to the East Riding this week. I'm going to be doing Anlaby with Anlaby Common. What was that? Oh, Lauren with the Vaseline. Making a noise. And that's the cat you just heard, just running off. Blimey. It's all go in this house tonight. So yeah, Anlaby with Anlaby Common tomorrow near Hull. That's a big one. And then I'll be heading out to the Holderness coast, and I'll be almost finishing it. I'll be doing 7 of them out there. So Humbleton, Burton Constable, which I'm dreading. I'll tell you why in a minute. Then there's Oldborough, East Garton, Roos, Rimswell, and Halsham. And that will almost finish the Holderness coast. That will just leave Patrington and Easington. Those two will be left. And there's a reason why them two are left. But again, you'll discover that next year. The reason I'm dreading Burton Constable is because of the Hull. I may have to dig out some drone footage from somebody on the Tinterwebs because I know I won't be able to get access to film it. There's plenty of other interesting things about Burton Constable Parish, though, because it includes Marton and West Newton, and I can film them. But Burton Constable Hull, I know I'm not going to get into it. So it might be a difficult episode to make because it's private. That's why. It's private. It's private property. So yeah, it's sort of the main feature, but I don't know how I'm going to get around it just yet. So, any plans to head to Buckinghamshire in 2024? Not yet, Dave. But I could. I've got a little plan already in my head for 2024. Doesn't involve Buckinghamshire as yet, but there's no reason why I can't. The plan for next year basically goes as follows. I want to finish Nottinghamshire next year completely. And so I'm going to be doing Rushcliffe. I'm going to start Rushcliffe as soon as I can next year because that's got 59 in it. That's the bulk of what's left in Nottinghamshire now, the 59 in Rushcliffe. There's still 10 in Gedling, and there's 6 in Broxtowe, and there's still Ashfield, and there's still the 1 in Mansfield. In total, I think that's 76. So, in theory, I should be able to finish it no problem. But of course, I've got other areas to think about as well. But that's my main aim next year, to finish Nottinghamshire. Guaranteed, though, the East Riding will finish next year because there's only 40 left. For me, there's more for you because there's some you haven't seen, but for me, there's only 40 left. So I will definitely finish one county next year if I don't finish Nottinghamshire. So that's the only thing in my head at the moment, but of course, could alter yet. We'll see. What have we got? How did I get on with Codner? It's hilly, is the answer to that, Richard.
You missed some comments out.
Sorry?
You missed some comments out.
Okay.
So Dave said how any plans said to Buckinghamshire. Then Shane comments about any thoughts of the Halloween special.
Yeah, I might do a Halloween special. I'll be out of the house on Halloween, so I might find somewhere spooky. I did have a quick look when someone mentioned it the other week. The only thing I found, Nikki said not to go to, so I won't go there. But I might find something spooky. There might be a haunted house around somewhere, depending on where I am. We'll see. Let's see. Darren's got a drone.
Then you're missing comments.
Oh, I'm not.
Why? Because you said that people have
sorry.
in Cumbria. It's just been to Penrith and
yeah, Cumbria. Yeah, I shall not do anything in Cumbria yet. But Darren, I will be in Cumbria at the end of this year because you guys all voted for me to be in Cumbria. And I've just had a look at that properly in the last couple of days to see if see what I'm doing up there. So that's going to be good. Right, back to Richard. How did you get on with Codner? It's hilly is the answer to that. It was surprisingly hilly. It took me an hour and 10 minutes to get round it, which wasn't too bad. Didn't go to the castle. There are 2 reasons for that. Firstly, it's not in Codner, believe it or not. It's actually Older Curran Langley Mill. The other reason is the road to it is private, so you can't. So I was kind of at a loss before I even started with that one. Jamie, I'm on about moving to Bradford, so look forward to that again. Yeah, cool. Bradford's still on the back burner, but Richard, you could buy a micro camper van and use it instead of hotels. We've been talking about getting a camper, haven't we?
Yeah, but it's money.
It's money. They're not the cheapest of things. So hotels probably at the minute is probably better for us. And plus, you take a hotel, there is the opportunity for other people to tag along with you, isn't there?
Mm.
Yeah.
To be fair, there isn't a camper.
Well, there isn't a camper, yeah, but depends who wants to actually sleep in the camper, though. I mean, I know you're willing, but right. Oh, what we got here? Okay, have you got much of Warwickshire to do yet? Says Catwoman Jones. Yeah, nearly all of it. I've done. How many have I done now? 9 in total. I know you haven't seen all of them yet. You've only seen 8 because there's another one to come out. But yeah, Warwickshire's got a lot still to go. So, hi, Andy and Nikki from Central Florida. Wow, that's good. The Americans are in the house. Am I a member of National Trust or English Heritage? Nope, I'm not. Speaking of National Trust, have we all heard about the tree? You've surely all heard about the tree this week in Northumberland. I'm absolutely aghast at what happened to the tree, to be honest with you. It's crazy that someone would vandalize something like that, an iconic landmark. You know, one of the things we've got in this country, which is actually nice. You know, but yeah, the tree incident was ridiculous. Let's see. Monk House in Pontefract. I assume that's haunted, Jade. That's why you're saying it. Let's see. Oh, that's the one that Nikki said not to go to. Yeah. 30 East Drive. Yeah. It's the Black Monk.
Everybody goes there.
It's apparently the most, well, not the most haunted house in Britain, but it's certainly the one with the most violent poltergeist, from what I was reading. Yeah. No, basically, the story goes with that that it's haunted by a black monk, and the house it haunts is built on top of a well. Opposite that well, there was a gallows where this monk was executed, and then they threw his body down the well, and then of course they built the house over the well later on, and that's why it's haunted. That's the story about it anyway. So let's see. I've met and had my photo taken with Robert England. As far as my Halloween and spookiness goes, I've no idea who that is, Vince.
Freddy Krueger.
Oh, right, Freddy Krueger. Oh, I'm glad you know, Nikki, because I don't do film. I'm not a big film fan. Pendle will be perfect for Halloween. Yes, it probably would, but I won't be out there on Halloween. I can guarantee that. I'm not going to be in Lancashire at all now this year. Annesley Hall is very spooky, is it? That could be a possibility then, honest, because I am planning on doing Annesley before this year is out, so I might. I think Nikki should do the Halloween special in a haunted graveyard. What an idea that is! Nikki said, "Bring it on." Watch this space. Let's see. Blimey, you guys are hot on the comments tonight. I still had one more thing to talk about yet, but I tell you what, I'll get out of the way right now. The only other thing I was going to mention was the end of the West Lindsey series, which is frighteningly coming up very quickly. I planned the routes for the last 5 earlier this week, and in a way I felt a tinge of sadness because it's my home district and I'm about to finish it. But also I felt kind of euphoric as well because it's an achievement, you know. The last episode, as you know, will be an hour-long special again. But the thing I was going to mention was that the meetup at the end, I still haven't decided whether or not I am actually definitely going to do one. The chances are I will. Trevor Halstead keeps saying about doing it in Gainsborough. He's very keen on the idea of people coming to Gainsborough and doing it somewhere like round his shop or in the old hall or something like that. I don't know whether that would work. I need to talk to him about it properly. You guys have the idea of doing it in Lincoln somewhere, which is fair enough. I'm open to suggestions, but I need to have a good think about it. I'm not quite sure if I'm doing one yet. But yeah, that's the only other thing I was going to mention this week. So let's go back to the comments then, because these are flying in this week. It's amazing how many there are. Where did they get to? Royal Leamington Spa sounds good. Yes, it does, but not going to be there before the end of this year. Will be at some point though. Let's see. Those two are tree. The police have revealed the name of the bloke who cut that tree down. He's called Tim Burr. Oh wow. I guess you've got to make light of it. In some way, shape, or form, I guess you've got to make light of it. But I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a horrible thing to have happened, but that's really funny. That's actually funny. Amazing. Timber. Here's the thing. When we told Lauren about it, not only, you can all slate her for this, not only did Lauren not know about the tree, Lauren also did not know about the film, about why the tree was so important, about Hadrian's Wall. When I said to Lauren, it's on Hadrian's Wall, Lauren was like, what's Hadrian's Wall?
I still don't get why the tree is so important. It's a tree. The wall I get is important because it's like an ancient thing, but the tree, don't get it.
I mean, did they not teach you about Hadrian's Wall at school?
Nope.
Why not?
Your schooling needs more schooling.
Your schooling needs more schooling. I thought everyone knew what Hadrian's Wall was.
No,
Blimey. I mean, I've got plans. I've got plans to be filming a lot of Hadrian's Wall when I get up there.
I understand why the wall is important. I still don't understand why a tree is important. It's an actual beauty.
The tree was important because A, it was in a film, B, it was in the music video for Bryan Adams' song.
Yeah, but that
right?
Could happen with anything.
Yeah, Lauren, I showed you the pictures of it. Lauren just doesn't get this, as you can tell. If you look at the pictures of it, it's a national beauty spot. It's an iconic spot. You know, the dipping valleys, the tree in the middle. It's the most photographed tree in the country. You know, it's just beautiful, isn't it? Or it was. Apparently, some guy went and planted a new one, but they've dug it up because apparently it's illegal to plant any trees there.
Scheduled ancient monument.
Yeah.
The tree that they planted.
Yeah.
Had an effect on that scheduled monument.
Yeah. So there we go. Is Roach Abbey haunted? Probably, Jamie. I don't know, to be definite. It probably is. I mean, all these old abbeys are usually haunted, aren't they? Freddy Krueger, we've covered that. Watch the film when the light goes out, base on it. What's that in reference to, Jade? Darren says Roach Abbey is proper haunted. How about the one at Rawmarsh that's haunted for Nikki to do? What's haunted in Rawmarsh? The cemetery.
Your mother's in cemetery.
That's yeah. Right.
My mother's in Rawmarsh Cemetery.
Yeah, but it's not haunted as far as I'm aware, is it?
No, Breesby Road Cemetery. Look, all cemeteries have got this haunted thing, haven't they?
Yeah.
Turn your torch off.
Yeah, it might be haunted. It might be haunted. We'll see. Wear your hat. Look good in it. Do I look well? I'll have to wear a hat tomorrow because I need a haircut, but I haven't had one yet. So I'll have to have my hat on tomorrow, I think. Let's see. Hoover Stand, says Darren. Is that haunted? Could be. Try Alton Towers for the Halloween show. Private land, wouldn't be able to film it, Jade. Lots of restrictions. Let's see. Runs, that's to do with Hadrian's Wall. Runs from Barrow upon Furness to Wall's End. It does. That's why it's called Wall's End. Let's see. More famous. Yeah, Alice is right. That tree was more famous than the major oak.
Probably pictured more times than the major oak.
Absolutely. I mean, the major oak. I mean, let's be honest with you. Let's be honest about this. The major oak needs supports to keep it up, doesn't it? I mean, you probably saw from my Edwin Stowe video. If you've not seen it, by the way, Edwin Stowe is where you'll see it. It's got all these supports to keep its branches basically up, because if they weren't there, it would probably not be the iconic tree that is. But of course, this sycamore didn't need those supports because it wasn't anywhere near as old, and it was just in a beautiful spot. You know, it was the most iconic tree we had. The look on this kid's face. Let's see. Okay. When will West Lindsey Meetup be? If I'm going to do one, Jamie, if I'm going to do that West Lindsey Meetup, it will be the same day that I film Piscaton, which is the last one, which will be in November. November the... Oh, crikey. Remember, I think it's the 8th or 9th. It's either the 8th or the 9th. I can't remember which. But of course, I will let you know as I know more, because I don't know everything about that yet. The one across from Bella's Road Doctors, says Richard Smith. The one across from Bella's Road
St.
Doctors.
Mary's Church.
So, yeah. The church on top of the hill there.
St. Mary's Church of New Victoria had a book round there a while ago. It's on a massive hill.
Right. Yeah.
At least it goes right down into Valley at the back.
Right. Well, there you go. If that's haunted, then maybe.
And it's been in walking distance.
I say you wouldn't have to go far, Nikki. Let's see. When the lights go out is the film about 30 East Drive. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I read that. Yeah. Because I didn't know anything about 30 East Drive before I read about it. It was sort of new to me. I was like, what? I'm not a big ghostly fan, to be honest. But let's see. Lord Byron has been seen around Newstead grounds walking his dog. Okay. Let's see. Hooper is really weird, and I always feel weird. Some rubbish goes off there. People in cloaks. Actually, we're not far away from the most haunted road in Britain, where we are here. It's in Stocksbridge. I mentioned it in the Stocksbridge episode a long time ago. The Stocksbridge bypass is supposed to be the most haunted road in Britain. I'll be honest with you, if you drive on it at night, it does feel a bit creepy. When I featured it in the Stocksbridge episode, it was daytime, so it didn't really feel that bad. But if you go across it at night, trust me, yeah, it does feel a bit weird. So that's another thing I could do, I suppose. Most haunted road. Touched on that again. Which is the favourite one I've visited so far? Out of them all, that's changed just recently because it was Lindy. It's now Kimberley, which was out a couple of weeks ago. Last week that was out. I'm saying a couple of weeks because it's been a couple of weeks since I've been there, but the news come out a few weeks ago. Last week. See, still doing it. Mrs. TVI video was good the other day, says Jamie. Breeden on the Hill. That main episode is coming out in November. So keep an eye out for that one. It's a good one. It's a good one. It really is. That's probably the best one done in Leicestershire so far. Let's see. There is a house in Hull, 39 Grey Street in Hull. It's very haunted. Right. Well, I've got to pass through Hull tomorrow, so I might have a look at that. You never know. The A5 is supposed to be very haunted. I imagine there are a few roads which have got weird goings on them, but that one in Stocksbridge is supposed to be the most, apparently. I've never seen a ghost, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, if it is or if it isn't. I'm a bit skeptical with ghosts. I don't know whether they actually exist or not. I'm not the kind of person that sort of goes ghost hunting. I know a lot of people out there do, and they enjoy it. I've got a friend who lives in Durham who likes a bit of ghost hunting. He travels all over the country to do it. He's mad, if you ask me. But
almost as mad as you going to visit.
yeah, almost as mad as me doing this, I suppose. But you do what you enjoy. Is Stocksbridge bypass the one where the monk appears at your car window? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Always on the bridge, hence all the accidents. That's right. I mean, personally, if that's true, then fair enough. But if it's not, I think it's more a case of people just don't know how to drive. It's not the worst road in the world to drive on, the Stocksbridge bypass, having been on it numerous times myself. Have I been to Lincoln? Asked Christine. Well, I'm from Lincoln, Christine, so I kind of I kind of have to have been, haven't I? Yeah, numerous times. The whole city's on Parish though, so there won't be any episodes there. Pac-Man Lane is haunted. It runs from Whitwell Common to near Harthill and Thorpe Salvin. I can believe that. It is a bit eerie down there. There are some eerie places around, aren't there? There are always country lanes, mostly. They're in the middle of nowhere. They're never. It's never a random side street in a town, is it? So, two policemen saw it in a car parked up. The grey monk was beside the car window. Well, that's the story, isn't it? Catwoman Jones, I've got a few people I'll come back and haunt when I'm dead.
I think we all have.
I think we all have. There's a few people I'd like to. I'm telling you now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not all of them are very far away from me either. I didn't mean you. Honest, I didn't mean you.
You should have looked at me when you said that.
Oh dear. Jamie says, happy Lincolnshire Day, apparently today. No, it's not today, Jamie. It was the 1st. October the 1st is Lincolnshire Day. It's the anniversary of the Lincolnshire Uprising in 1536, which is why it was chosen to be Lincolnshire Day. It was a Catholic revolt, basically, against Henry VIII of the Church of England. So, no, it's today. It's not today. It was the 1st. Sunday it was. Proud day for me that. I get to wave the Lincolnshire flag.
Oh well, how you do it?
Yeah. Well, I've got to keep my own county close at heart, haven't I? Right, I think we're about there this week, people. I might just have a couple more minutes because we usually go a bit over the 30, don't we? And we're all enjoying this at the moment, aren't we? We've got plenty of people in here and lots of things to talk about. I mean, haunted roads, haunted houses, Tesco, thanks to Darren, the tree in Northumberland, Hadrian's Wall, and you not knowing what it is. All sorts of stuff flying in tonight. It's brilliant.
So you know how it's been mentioned about a Halloween episode?
Yeah.
Have you done around this yet? Because I feel like this might be a good thing.
So Lauren's just found, where is this? Chillingham Castle, that's in Northumberland. It's in the Cheviots. I haven't done anywhere around there yet. No, I haven't. But I'm not going up to Northumberland again this year now. So
just thought it might be a nice
it kind of needs to be somewhere local because if I'm doing a Halloween special, I don't want it to interfere with the other stuff I've got planned. You see, so anywhere local. I mean, we've had some good suggestions local. I mean, the cemetery. Bella's Parade, the hoop stand, which apparently is very eerie, Stocksbridge bypass. These are all close enough for me to do them. So there's plenty I could pick for a Halloween special. Anything with a spooky story. So excellent. White Rose County is always the better one, Andy, says Jamie. We'll agree to disagree. we have this debate in our house, obviously, because I'm the only person who lives here who's from Lincolnshire. Everybody else is Yorkshire in this house, so I'm kind of outnumbered. Lauren calls Lincolnshire
the land of the watery gravy.
The land of the watery gravy. I'll explain that. If you live in Yorkshire, you probably know yourself that if you have a good Sunday dinner, you always have gravy on it. And Yorkshire folk like their gravy thick.
Not too thick, but thick.
Really, really thick. It's not quite thick enough that you can stand a spoon up in it. But not far off. And so everybody in this house, when they make gravy, they always make it thick because they're Yorkshire folk. That's what they do. When I make gravy, mine's not as thick. It's probably more, shall we say, more like water.
Like OXO.
It's like, yeah, Nikki's got it right, like OXO. So it's still edible, don't get me wrong, but these guys don't like it because it's so runny. So now I've been sort of given this. Lincolnshire's been given the nickname, thanks to Lauren, land of the watery gravy. And I get that every time I mention Lincolnshire. Every time I've been to somewhere in Lincolnshire, I come back here. Lauren says, "Where have you been today?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've been here, all in Lincolnshire." And Lauren's like, "Oh, the land of the watery gravy."
I won't let you make gravy now.
Yes, I'm banned from making it, according to Nikki. So there we go. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. Couple more comments here.
It's the world that came last week.
I think that's probably say. Is that meant to say electric fence, Darren? Can't quite tell what that says.
Probably meant to say it.
Catwoman Jones, I'm a Geordie and proud to be, although I haven't lived there for donkeys years. Yeah, I'm going to say, because you're in Warwickshire, aren't you? So I didn't know that. I didn't know you're from up north in Newcastle there. Let's see. Brown water gravy.
The law that gravy
It must be thick. Yeah, well, only for Yorkshire folk, not for people like me.
No, you look
I don't like it too thick. It just doesn't taste right to me. The texture's wrong. I don't know. Christine, no, this isn't my daughter. This is my stepdaughter. This is Nikki's Sproglet, not mine.
But you brought her up since she was 3.
Yes, I've brought this one up since the age of 3. Now 14.
She was 3, not you.
11 years. You get less for murder. And trust me, it is murder with her sometimes. But what? Don't give me that look. You know full well it is.
And you know for what you could be as well.
Teenagers, who'd have them, mate? Who'd have them? Right. I think it's time for me to shove off, and I will see you guys next week if you remember, and I'll see you in 2 weeks if you're not. Thank you very much for joining us and talking about all things spooky and all things tree related and Hadrian's Wall and watery gravy of all things. It's been a good one this week. I've enjoyed it, and I hope you have as well. Always good to see you people. Always good to see the same people coming back, because without you guys, we would not have what we have here. And, you know, as long as this carries on, we're all happy. We're all enjoying ourselves. We're all enjoying the content. We're all enjoying the chatter and the banter and the, well, and the gravy. Yeah, and the gravy. Oh, God. Well, only if it's thick in this house, apparently.
Yeah.
And timber, yes, indeed, Vincent, that one will indeed be sticking around, I think. Right. See you all, folks. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. See you later. Good night.